and loved ones on the other side. Um, People always ask me why I don't call myself a psychic. Really, it comes down to I hate that name. I hate that term. I think there's too much negative connotation with it. So I call myself a channeler. And really, that's what I do. I channel messages from your spirit guides and
Okay.
loved ones that have crossed over already. Gone home. That's home, by the way. Home is the other side. We come to visit here. We live over there. Um, Spirit guides. What are they? They are souls. We are a soul. Our soul embodies our bodies embodies our soul. So when we take our last breath on Earth, our soul returns to the other side. We have a spirit family on the other side, and members of that spirit families agreed to be your guide while you're here on Earth to try to give you guidance. 99.9% of the times we don't listen because we get that, you get that intuition. You're hanging out with your buddies and you get that. Okay, everybody, how is everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to Kevali Channeling Presents. Today we have a very special guest, Sarah Powell. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing her last name right. I'm going to ask her when she comes on. I meant to ask her before we went live. Sarah has a very cool story that I'm looking forward to her sharing. It is January 23rd. How did it become the end of January already? Time's going by too quick. We need to slow it down somehow. So, as I bring Sarah on, if you folks have any questions, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're listening to Facebook or even Twitter, you can comment on whatever page you're on, and it magically shows up on my stream, and I'll be able to ask those questions. Or you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the conversation. I'm going to drop over and bring Sarah on. Hello, young lady.
Hello. Thank you for having me tonight.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day. Where are you located? Are you in Calgary?
Yes, I am. Yes, I live in Calgary
Awesome.
with my husband and my 2 children right now.
Nice, 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 nice. You're enjoying this absolutely beautiful weather we've been having.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it because I've seen that it's not staying for very long. So
I watched the news before I came upstairs and I was like, minus 16 by the weekend? And that dirty S word? No. I want it to be 25 above already.
yes, we want
I'm
Hawaii,
ready.
but we live
Yes.
in
I want to go to Mexico. I could live in Mexico. Quite easy. Quite easy.
yeah.
Well, we have all kinds of people tuning in, which is really cool. So, Sarah, tell us who you are, um, and the name of your business, etc.
All right. So I did hear you earlier. My name is Sarah Powell. So I
It's
just on Facebook. So
it's Powell,
yeah.
EL. That's awesome. I was like, I think it's Powell. I meant to ask her.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I am a medium, a spiritual mentor, an animal communicator, all things spirit in Calgary. My business name technically is Maven Mediumship, and but lately I've just I've put my business page to sarahpowell.ca. So yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. You a medium. Obviously, you took some kind of training. Who was that training through?
Yeah, I took quite a bit of training throughout my life, but the most recent that have helped me was Danielle, the Squamish medium, is her
Oh,
business.
yes.
Yes, yeah, she's lovely, and then my channeling, I also went with someone you know,
Someone I know closely.
Ken Wiki of Channeling Inc.
Ken is a very good friend. I obviously met Ken when I first took my channeling in way back when was it? Geez, August, July of 2020. So it's
Oh,
been
wow.
like going on 3 years that we've known each other and have become very, very close.
Nice.
Just connect with him really well.
Yeah.
But don't tell him that. We won't tell him. He's probably listening. Love you, Ken. Um, so when was it that you first realized that there was something more to life than just getting up in the morning, going to work, coming home?
Yeah, I would love to answer that for you. And I want to preface this with that I have experienced a lot in my short 36 years on this planet. And so I am saying all of this from a loving place because what I want to share my story and my traumas and everything with people as much as possible. So that way
Yes.
I'm an open book, and if anyone can learn even just a little tiny percent of something from something that I went through, then it didn't happen in vain, kind of thing. So um,
Yes.
yeah,
That's the
so
whole idea of this show, Sarah. And oh, I got goosebumps on my goosebumps. And as I said to you earlier, if one person can hear your story or hear one part of your story and say, "Oh, I'm not crazy. Sarah went through that.
yeah.
I can get through this." It's all worth it. This whole hour is that's what it's about. So go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, no, that's absolutely okay. So I did have imaginary friends when I was young. I remember my first imaginary friend was a very old school nurse. She had the nurse cap and outfit, and when I was younger, when I was 5 and younger, I spent a lot of time in the hospital and a lot of emergency visits with really bad asthma and she was always there to support me, and I always felt like she was real. I didn't know that that was something different, and that followed me a lot through my childhood. And I never really explored it because to me it was just every day. And then when I was my early to mid teens, I confided in my mom that I was experiencing these things. And no offense to my mom, but she was very religious Catholic kind of thing, and conveyed that it was more of like an evil spirit that was talking to me.
Yes.
I really suppressed everything down.
Don't
Um,
do that. That's evil.
yes,
That's
yeah.
literally
Oh,
what I was
it wouldn't
told.
be it wouldn't be these people talking to you. It would be an evil spirit or
It's
demon.
Satan. It's
Yes,
Satan.
yes.
I
So
grew up with a very Catholic mother as well, so I get it. A
uh,
loving woman, but
yes, very loving, and she's come around, but in the time that was really scary for me to think that that was what I was experiencing. So I just
well,
kind of
yeah.
stuffed it down and created like different coping mechanisms for the trauma in my life at that time. Unfortunately, when I was a teenager, I did have a lot of trauma that came up. I grew up in a difficult neighborhood in Calgary. I went to Forest Lawn High School and all that kind of stuff, and it was just it's just different over there. It was 15 years ago kind of thing, and
Yeah.
so for me, my coping mechanisms were instead lots of drugs, alcohol, partying, that kind of thing, and so that's kind of how
Gotta be
that.
able to shut it down somehow,
Yes, yeah.
right? Yes.
Um, yeah. And then when my sister actually told me that she was pregnant with my niece, to me that was just a very huge wake up call that I had to be this mentor and this support for my
Uh-huh.
family. So I wasn't super heavy, like I wasn't. It wasn't something I did every day, but it was every
Yeah.
weekend, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and then in my early 20s, I started to explore things again, and it was all really rough and came and went. And I felt like I tried. The more I tried, the less intuitive that I was. I tried tons of divination things like tarot cards, oracle cards, dowsing rods, all sorts of things to try and tap into spirit. And then about a year and a half ago, I started with Danielle Serink with Squamish Medium, and I did the initiation. And that helped me really lean into what I was experiencing, my intuition, how to deepen my connection with spirit. And then
Nice.
I continued with that. And then I kept seeing Ken's name and advertisements and all that just constantly popping up. So, and then he had a one night thing in Airdrie that you came to, and
Yes.
spoke about channeling. And I had never really found a good differentiation between channeling and mediumship. So once I learned a little bit more about that, then that's when I connected with Ken, and learning to channel really deepened my mediumship as well. So
Oh, huge,
yeah,
huge. Like, because you're able to control, literally, you're able to control it. It's
yes.
not something that just comes and goes randomly, and you're like, "I see dead people. I don't like
Yeah.
seeing people. Stop with the dead people already." That's what I found anyways. Now, did you and I do a session before, we met in Airdrie?
Yes, we did.
We did. I thought so, and I was like, "Hold it, is my memory not correct? Because 'Cause it's been bad lately." But because I remember meeting you in Airdrie, and you told me, and I was like, "Oh, I feel bad because I don't remember." And
Oh no.
it had been like a week, and I have to be honest, since I caught COVID back in a year ago, my
Wow.
memory has been terrible. If I don't put it in my calendar, I'm not remembering it. It's
Oh
really
yeah.
bad. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Not that I'm old and forgetful.
Well, I
That's
was
my
gonna say people say that I look like Katherine Heigl or Britney Spears. So I mean, it's I'm happy that you forgot me, but that's
That's awesome. Actually, it's funny because so many times when I do a reading, I do a clearing, and I literally have to wipe all the memories of that reading out of my brain because, if, as you know, when we're doing mediumship, it's a lot of information you're pumping through your brain, and if you try to retain it all, I think your brain's a computer. And once it gets full, it starts dropping things off. So I'm terrified one day I'm going to wake up and not remember how to put pants on and walk outside naked. So it's like clear, clear, delete, delete, delete.
yeah, that's fair.
So you
Yeah.
took channeling with Ken.
Yes.
I know this is really cliche, and I say it all the time. Was it life changing for you?
Yeah, well, definitely more than anything was level one. So I've
Yes.
only completed level one and level two because I had emergency gallbladder surgery just before the
Oh,
third, so that's why. So I am coming back to the next one because I just fell in love with it, and at the end of Saturday night and the end of Sunday night, I was just so elevated in such a way that I've never I've never experienced that before, and I couldn't even really put words to it.
the best high you've ever had naturally is how
Absolutely.
I explain it, because like you, I did all the drugs back in the day. Um, this was literally the best feeling you ever have, um, that you can have, I think, naturally, because it's such a powerful um, thing to be able to communicate with your own spirit guides.
Yeah.
But as you grow and you're able to communicate with other people's spirit guides and loved ones, it's a game changer.
Oh yeah, I always say to people that I have the grace and the opportunity to read that I feel like I should be paying them because I get so much healing from doing that work with other people and helping them heal as well. So
Oh, it's I can't tell you how many times I'm telling people, I need you to know how much I appreciate that you have the confidence to come to let me do a reading, because I get just as much, probably more than what I'm giving. It literally fills our soul. Yeah, I was gonna get emotional there. You can't describe the feeling, and I've tried to, and I'm pretty good with my words. I've tried to put into words that feeling. Can you?
it's almost as though my heart is so full and ready to burst, and it's the most fulfillment that I've ever experienced. And I am a registered nurse as well, and I have
Oh,
resuscitated babies. I've resuscitated, you know, several babies, and I've
aw.
done a lot of hands-on work, but nothing quite compares to this.
So I'm obviously gonna touch on you being a nurse. Pediatrics?
Well, I've had the amazing opportunity in my career that I've done neonatal ICU, pediatric cardiology and respirology. I've also done day surgery and ortho. I've done quite a bit of home care as well, and
Oh, wow.
just kind of touched on a bunch of different things.
You have done a lot in a short period of time.
I'm also a pilot, actually, and I worked for WestJet for almost a decade.
So you're a registered nurse pilot.
Medium.
Oh, medium channeler.
Yeah.
What do you do in your spare time, Sarah?
I'm a mom to a 9-month-old, but I also belly dance 2 hours a week, and
I
yeah,
was joking. I was literally joking.
I know.
You're
My
a
husband wishes
busy
that I
lady.
was joking, so I wasn't so crazy busy all the time. But
It's good to be busy. So,
yeah.
um, being a nurse with babies in the NICU, I must thank you. Our granddaughter was born premature. February 11th is her birthday coming up. Happy birthday, Cherie. And she was born, I think she was 1 pound, 11 ounces, or somewhere in there. She was really small. Like when I say small, hold in the palm of your hand, small.
Yeah.
By the grace of many people like yourselves and the powers that be, she is now turning 9. So
Oh wow.
yes,
That's
she's our
amazing.
special angel, that's for sure. So again, thank you for doing what you do. Without people that like yourself that do what you do, I don't think she would be with us. So I thank you.
Mhm.
Now, with that knowledge, I love combining Western medicine with everything else. Are you using? Do you still practice? Are you still a
Um,
nurse? Do you do anything nursey? Do you do anything
yes, I
nursey?
do. I am also a dermatology nurse. I recently did my dermatology certification, so I do injectables in the face and dermatology procedures
Now,
as
do
well.
you use energy spirit with and combine the two?
I did initially want to do that, but I find that there are some people that just want to get filler or just have a procedure done to their face. They don't necessarily want to be seen every time. They don't.
Right.
So so I've decided to keep it separate until I have the opportunity or the someone that asks if I do both, and then I would of course offer, but I don't want people to feel like they have to be seen on a deeper level if they come to me
Yeah,
when they're
and it's
ready.
true. Well, it's and I've said it so many times in the past months. Um, North America, we're so far behind bringing energy healing together with Western medicine. You go over to Europe, they have Reiki practitioners in the operating rooms.
Oh,
We just
wonderful.
don't do it here.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's going to change somewhere down the line because it works. It works. It should be together. Are you planning to take like a healing course,
Um,
Reiki or something along those lines?
no, no. I have a direction that I'm heading right now, and a project that I've been working on. I call it my signature program, and it's essentially how to create connection with people through their corporate job instead of feeling like they have to quit their job and something that they worked really, really hard for, and connect spirit into them, into their job, into their career, into their day-to-day life, so they can feel elevated and like sort of take their career to the next level and be able to integrate that, and that's been something
Oh,
that I've really felt called to do, and I feel like that will start to provide some healing to people that feel really disconnected at work.
that's
um
called preventative healing.
yeah, Yeah, so I'm
Yes.
not technically planning on, like, hands-on healing, but still that sort of soulful healing moving forward, yeah.
What we do, being a medium, is healing. Um, People don't get it, and people are like, "Well, you're not a healer," and I'm like, "Well, not in the sense of I'm not gonna lay hands on you and cure you of all your diseases, but,
Right,
I can sure heal your soul. Um, I can heal your heart.
yeah,
It's quite easy." As you know, when we're passing messages from a loved one, that soul, there's a connection.
yeah,
There's no denying it. So, good for you.
yeah.
Can you go into more detail, like, on what that is going to entail? That sounds intriguing.
Yeah, thank you. I I'm still in the beta process of it, I guess you could say. So I'm still looking for people to kind of test drive it to see what really resonates with people. But right now, I have it as a 7-step process to just start to get that deeper inner connection to yourself and find out what you truly love and what truly makes you tick and what really makes you tick backwards, I guess you could say, and also find proper verbiage on how to express yourself on a deeper level, so that way it creating boundaries with words and
Big.
all sorts of things like that, and it allows people to sort of take control of their career, their experience, because we spend 56.3% of our life at work, sitting, behind a desk or um, at work in many ways. So I really want to start bringing spirit back to the corporate world in a way that isn't just like woo wooey and
Yes.
like just make it so it's really real and it's really functional and help people find how they can elevate themselves through that and find that
Oh, ooh,
connection. Yeah.
that is powerful. Wow.
Thank Yeah.
So people could find that information on your website yet? Or if they're interested, they can message you from your website?
Yes. Yeah.
Eh
I have the capability to book, I call it a discovery call. So to just give me a shout, we can have a little chat over coffee kind of thing and see if we're right for each other too, because
oh,
yeah,
huge.
I don't want anyone to waste their money or feel like it's something that doesn't align with their goals. Essentially, yeah.
And they can reach you where? What's your website?
Sorry, it's www.sarahpowell, SARAHPOWELL.ca, and
It's not POW like I thought it was. It's not my fault. On Facebook, she's a POW, not a
it is.
Powell.
Yeah, you're right.
And she never corrected it, so it's not my fault. That's awesome. So, um, you're also doing mediumship work.
Yes, yes, that is
A
something that
and
I will never stop doing.
nice. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
I
and
just
also,
find so many people in this industry. I hate that word, but they're making me say it. In this industry, kinda poo-poo mediumship. It's like, "Oh, you do mediumship." It's like, "Stop." It's probably it's like the coolest thing we can do once we learn to channel, in my opinion.
yeah,
Um, it's it's frustrating when well, is all you do is mediumship? Yeah, that's what I do. And guess what? I really, really enjoy it, so shush.
Oh, that's it? Just mediumship?
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I spent the last several decades just developing it, but you're right.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like poo-poo on my parade.
Yeah.
Now you just said that's interesting. You just said you spent the last decade
Yeah,
or more, um, but you didn't really take the training until further up.
right.
I'm gonna take you back a bit when because you kinda said, "Oh, you, used to have, your imaginary friends,"
Mhm.
which I always get a kick out of watching little ones now when they start babbling off to the wall, and I'm
My
like,
son is like that. He's very, very sensitive. Yeah.
I think it's awesome. Um, can you go into some of and I'm going to talk to my audience for a sec. So when I'm talking like this and I look over my shoulder, what I'm doing is I'm actually talking to my guides and I'm kind of communicating with them in my brain, because they feed me. They feed me info. So I have no questions written down. This is just a blank piece of paper. I don't go by a script. It's all off the cuff, if you will. It's not really off the cuff because they're prepared for me. Um, my guides want to make sure they're here too. Your guides are on this side. My guides are on this side. Always the same. It never changes. Um, but they want to go back to your experiences with, I'm going to call it, lack of a better word, the supernatural through your teen years, because I think there's some stories there that need to be told.
Oh, yes. I wasn't sure if they'd bring it up,
They're
but
bringing it up.
yeah. Well, my best friend at the time, we we were both very sensitive, and we always spoke about it because she was very clairaudient and I was very clairvoyant. And so we
I'm going to
would
stop you because a lot of people won't understand what those things mean. So explain what clairaudient and clairvoyant mean.
Clairaudient is the hearing of spirit, but it doesn't always have to be hearing as though I'm speaking out loud. It can be hearing in the head as well. So,
Yes,
yeah.
there's voices in my head.
And then
Exactly.
clairvoyant is more of the visual aspect of mediumship.
Cool. Continue.
Yeah. So we had a lot of fun. She was my best friend for a really long time, and we never really had a fight. We just kind of grew apart, unfortunately, as teenage friendships do. But we did have one really spooky. Well, we had many spooky incidences because we were 15 and being silly. So we thought it was a little silly, but there was this one, and I swear that this is absolutely true. I saw this little. He looked like a green leprechaun, and I saw him like being really angry, but I couldn't really hear what he was trying to say or understand. But I just saw him like being really angry in her closet, and then at the exact same time, he flipped me off and said some vulgar words. So my best friend and I both jumped back. And we thought, oh, okay, that's a little scary. So let's just go walk to 7-Eleven or something. And we walked downstairs and we were skipping school. So it was just the two of us at her house. And we walked downstairs. And in her kitchen, every single drawer and cupboard and everything was pulled out and open. The fridge door was open. There was cutlery everywhere. There were cups everywhere. And that was probably the biggest physical experience I've ever had. And then we got the heck out of there really after
We're gone. Somebody else can clean this up. We're out of here. See, that's the adult in me going, who cleaned that up?
Yeah.
Not how did they get there? It was,
Yeah.
did somebody have to clean that up?
Come on.
That's bizarre. And I mean, people have to realize that with all the light and all the positivity that comes with channeling with this spirit, there's also a little bit of, not a little bit, but there's the other side. There is the dark side. It's, as I always say, it's not all unicorns and rainbows. Sometimes those unicorns poop. And it can be very scary at times if you don't know what's going on, like you were when you were 15 and you were just like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Hopefully now, if that would be to happen, you would be able to deal with it quickly. Before the dishes came out of the cupboard.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, that's cool. I love hearing that kind of story because again, I could say I saw dead people from time I was knee high to a grasshopper, and still do, obviously. But like you, I kind of buried it, but it didn't go away. I just chose not to pay attention most of the time because
Yeah.
it kind of freaked me out that I was seeing things other people didn't.
Right. Yeah.
You were lucky. You had a best friend that you could share. I didn't dare share it with anybody because I'm the youngest of 9 kids. So when I shared my stories about visiting with my dad in my dreams, they all made fun of me.
Oh,
So I was like, I don't want to share that with anybody else, especially outside my house, because mom said it was evil.
right.
I didn't want to be that evil child, right? Um, so going into adulthood, did these things continue to happen to you?
No, I I definitely grew a lot more respect for those experiences and what potential there is out there.
Yeah.
I always remained very sensitive and very intuitive, but I really stuffed it down after that age, like after about 15, because of all of those occurrences, and then the outside influence of it being evil and stuff. So I
Yes.
really stuffed it down until about my early 20s, like 21 ish.
And that's where you went to the Squamish, what's she called? The Squamish medium?
No, that was just about a year and a half ago. That's when I really tried because I couldn't connect and I didn't understand how to further connect. So I tried to take tarot cards and I
All
get really
right.
that way. But in all honesty, I was just too lazy to memorize the entire deck, so it just never fit.
Well, that's it's funny because I have tarot cards somewhere. I don't know where they went to, but I'm the same way. I'm like, I have to memorize each one. No, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
I'm way too lazy.
Exactly. And my guides are like, yeah, you rely on us. And I'm like, yeah, it's way
Way
easier.
Yeah,
Too
but I
funny.
always say too that I mean I'm honestly nobody special other than someone that's just worked on myself and worked on my
Yes.
connection because literally anybody if they put in the time can do what I
Thank
do.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I say it all the time. I get irritated. And if anybody's listening that I offend, I don't apologize. Because I get irritated when I hear people say, I have a gift. The
Mhm.
spirits gave me a gift. No, they didn't.
No.
I mean, if a baby 2 months old could be sitting on the floor talking to their spirit guides, that means anybody can do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
I have these little things on the wall here, certificates on the wall, because I took the time, I spent
Yeah.
the money, and I took courses to learn to control what I was naturally happening. That's all I did.
Yes.
After,
100%.
like you, after level 2, um, I think Ken tells you to go out and do 20 readings, whatever it is. I went out and did like 75. Because it's literally, I fell in love with it. It was
Yeah.
like at 55, whatever years old, I was like, I should have been doing this a long time ago. So I've got to make up for it. So I tried to do as many as I can before I took level 3. I can't wait till you take level 3 because it's the next level. It takes it to the next level, literally. I gotta say hi. I gotta say hi to a few people that are tuned in and said hi. First, Rod Peterson. I hope you're still listening. Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Shelly,
Yeah.
thank you.
Hi,
Uh,
Shelly.
and Stephanie Cramp. I
Yes.
hope says
Yes.
hi, Sarah.
Hi, Stephanie.
Lisa.
Hi, Kevin.
Lisa says hi, Sarah and Kevin. I met you both in Airdrie.
Hi,
I
Lisa.
remember Lisa was there as well. That was Ken and I did an event at the leisure center at the rec center here in town. And then Lisa says, sometimes it's not a gift, it's a curse.
Yeah.
And Ward Vandeplus says hello. I hope I
Word.
said Ward's last name right. I'm horrible trying to pronounce last names.
That's good.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, it really.
November. No, it was in October we did that, Lisa, not November. It was October. It was just before Thanksgiving because I know we left the next morning and I drove to Winnipeg.
Oh, right.
It was a long drive going to Winnipeg. So it just came out. It's not my fault. My guides are laughing at us now. Um, is it? It's 7:35 already. Where did the last 35 minutes go?
I just yapped them away.
That's
Sorry. I have
good.
a
No, it's
tendency to do
good.
that.
Um, where do you go from here? What's in the next few weeks, months? They're saying weeks. What are you doing in the next few weeks?
Well, the next few weeks, I'm doing a lot of internal healing. I've
Nice.
already started a lot of my healing journey with someone that I saw her on the Facebook spiritual networking group, and her name is Michelle Edwards. She is a phenomenal counselor, and
Nice.
she has helped me just really find my voice and work through a lot of my layers. And how she describes healing is almost like an onion, and each layer that we peel back and that we heal just becomes that much deeper and thicker of an onion layer. And she's
Nice.
really helping me navigate that. We just did a quantum healing hypnotherapy session, and I honestly, I cannot say enough amazing things about it. We really connected to my higher self and channeled a lot of healing for me. And immediately after, my readings were 100% clear, like
Oh
so,
yeah.
yeah. So that's a lot of my next couple weeks. In conjunction with start with rolling out my Ignite program. I'm doing them simultaneously, so that way with Ignite I can provide healing through my healing as well.
Nice. And
Yeah.
Ignite is the one that we talked about with.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Did I not see, and I'm trying to get clarification from somewhere, and I'm not, but did I not see you were putting on an event of some kind?
Oh, yeah. Actually,
Ah, I was like,
um,
I thought I saw this.
yeah. February 1st. I'm still looking for an official location. I have emails out there, but it's honestly just a get together. I just want to meet other people that are like minded and hang out and see what happens. And it's called YYC Mediums and Metaphysicals on Meetups. So please join if you like. We already have, I believe.
Allison, if you're listening, can you write that down and look it up? I'm not gonna write it down because I'm trying to concentrate.
And it's a totally free event. I'm right now. I'm waiting for the Mahogany HOA to get back to me, and just to secure a location. I think we already have like 17, or I already have 17 or 18 people,
Nice.
and other mediums are hopefully coming. And so, with the intention of just having some connection with people, and just
And
asking
you're
people,
doing this February 1st, which is a Wednesday night.
yeah, at 6:30 until
Whenever.
probably 9:30-ish until we leave. And honestly, everybody is welcome to join. If you are a medium, if you are not a medium, if you're
Thank
just
you.
curious or
Oh,
just want to find
yes.
connection, like that's the only reason that I have that meeting. And
Well, if
um,
you have 17 already, make it 18 because I'm gonna try my best to come down. That sound
amazing.
what part of Calgary do you figure?
Well, I'm trying just to hear back from the HOA in Mahogany in South Calgary,
Okay.
just because I am paying for the facility out of my own pocket, because it's just something that I really want to do, and I receive a lot of downloads from Spirit to just to provide what I've been looking for, and I've been looking for that connection and those meetups where we can just be weirdos together, and or
Nice.
maybe we'll do, I don't know, something silly like painting, or I don't know, let's just get
Do
together
something.
and do something, have some connection, some
Can
authentic.
you see the bottom of the screen there where it says Lisa? She says, "I will too." So Lisa's gonna join us as well, which will be cool.
It would be nice to see you again,
That would be
Lisa.
very cool. Very,
Yeah,
very cool. I think that's a
yeah,
great idea.
thank you.
And I love that you said like mediums, whatever. even if you're just interested, even if you're
Yeah,
curious, stop by. That's an awesome idea. Let me know when, because I will throw it on my Facebook and
awesome.
blast it out all through the different groups as well. Um,
Nice.
because I think I feel goosebumps. Uh, that's an important one. That's why I had to go back and I'm like, no, they're telling me you're doing something.
Fair
And I was
enough.
pretty sure I saw something on Facebook that you posted about that.
Yeah, I've just been placing it in different groups to try and reach as many people that are looking for the same thing,
Very,
that
very
authentic
cool.
connection. Yeah, especially after
Um,
COVID and being locked up. Let's
oh
connect.
gosh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Get back to somewhat normal. Can we call ourselves normal? I don't think we can.
I think you know the answer to that.
I wasn't normal before I met Ken. I'm definitely normal now.
I don't think any of us are.
If I don't want to be normal, who wants to be normal? That's boring.
No, I'm having a great time.
Exactly.
The weirder I get, the
Um,
better I have days. And the better it is.
where do you see where do you I was gonna say yourself, but they're correcting me. Where do you see this going for the next 5 years? That's interesting.
Okay.
The way they phrase that.
I just hope to reach as many people as I can and provide as much healing and honestly just spread as much love around as I can. And I know how cheesy that sounds. I'm sure that there's several eye rolls, but that's all I want is I want to share my love and my trauma and my experience and everything, and just if I can even just help raise the collective just a little tiny bit, then that's a job well done. I
You
think
know
so.
what? I don't know if you how closely you follow my Facebook, but it was last weekend. I did a session with somebody I know who's become a very good friend of mine, and at the end of the session, he says, "I need to tell you something," and I'm like, "What's that?" And he goes, "I need to tell you how me and my girlfriend both were sitting over coffee this morning saying how much positive influence you've had in our life since you've
Oh,
joined our lives." And I was blown away by it, to be honest. It was one of those moments where I went, I always have Kleenex close by, because it really did blow me away. But you're right, if we can just do that much better, think how
yeah,
much better the world would be,
absolutely,
right?
totally.
I've been saving this. We got time. You mentioned animal communication.
Yeah.
Um, goosebumps. Near and dear to my heart. I love goosebumps, by the way. Um, when you say animal communication, can you kind of describe that in more detail?
Yeah, definitely. It's something also very near and dear to my heart, and it's so pure for me,
Yes.
like the connection, and I always explain that connection as if I was to ask you to imagine a blue bike. Where you see that blue bike with your eyes open is where I see and hear and feel everything from spirit, and that's where I am
Oh,
with my animal readings. I take their picture, just that's all I ask for is their picture and their name. And I try and connect energetically in that space where I feel and see spirit. And a few times there has been an animal that is not trusting of me, so I've had to try and connect a few times. And then they show me a lot. They show me one reading I did. I don't have cats. I never really have. And this cat was showing me her bladder, and then I heard the word ash. So there was something to do with ash and her food, and that was causing her to have bladder issues. And then lo and
oh,
behold, I googled it because I'm curious, and I guess if there's too much ash in cat food, then it can cause bladder issues and bladder infections. So I was able to help
interesting.
that way. So that's kind of how that communication works for me.
Very, very cool. See,
Yeah.
every once in a while, I'll have animals that have crossed over come to me in a reading, and their souls when we say they're different than human souls, and it's important everybody knows, no, you can't come back as a butterfly. Human souls cannot be an animal soul. Two different.
Or a dung beetle, even if you wish that your ex would.
That was awesome. I like that. I always use butterfly. I'm going to start using dung beetle.
No, yin and yang, I guess.
Yes. But I mean, I have done hundreds and hundreds of readings where souls, human souls of loved ones have come across. As you know, we've done sessions before. When I have an animal soul come through, the love they show is so completely different.
Yeah.
It's unexplainable, the difference. If a human soul gives you love here, an animal soul, I can't reach my arm high enough, will be that much more. It's just pure. And it goes back to that humans aren't capable of unconditional love. An animal is.
Really, truly. Yes.
It's amazing. There's a joke. I'm going to tell it. They're telling me not to, but I'm going to tell it. Because it shows, it actually portrays the unconditional love. Take your best friend and your dog and lock him in a trunk for 2 hours. Open that trunk. Who's gonna love you? The dog. The best friend's probably never gonna talk to you again. The dog's gonna be your best friend still.
Yeah.
It's the unconditional love. It's a
True.
bad joke, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. It works.
My guides are laughing. Wow, this 45 minutes has gone by way too darn quick.
I agree. You can ask it. It's okay.
I love that. That was awesome. You said something about your company was originally called Maven.
Yeah. Yes.
But you've gone away from that.
Yeah. Because I do. I still have Maven Mediumship as my Instagram. It was a name. I was really struggling with how to represent myself in public to people that are looking for content on the internet. And I could not for the life of me figure out a name. And then I was driving after I'd had like this big session of just trying to brainstorm a name and nothing came to me. And this white van in front of me was stopped at a stoplight, and I was instantly drawn and attracted to Maven. It was Maven Plumbing or something of like something like that.
Okay.
And I was like, Maven Mediumship. Okay, what does Maven mean? I had to Google it, and then
you Googled it.
Yeah, and it means like experts kind of vibe, and I was like, well, I'm not an expert. I'm just me. But Spirit was like, no, you are, like, step into that role. So it's that's still how I like to see myself. I pass out my card. It still says Maven Mediumship because I really feel connected to that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to have sarahpowell.ca for a little bit more of the spiritual, like, coaching kind of thing, because I do feel really drawn lately to really start supporting the male energy on Earth, because I feel like the male energy has been so pulled down, and there's been a huge shift, and it was really needed in a lot of areas.
Yes.
But I feel like a lot of people have forgotten about divine masculinity as well.
Yes.
And I want to be available for both men and women to be able to be accessible, and also feel comfortable to come and approach me and see that, living with spirit in your life is something that you can do normally. You don't have to be woo. You don't have to now wear, tons of crystals and jewelry and, wear a big shirt that says, I talk to spirit. You don't need to announce it to the world. It can be a very normal thing. And so that's why I just shifted a little bit to just being my name, so I can come to the world as a normal Sarah,
It's funny. I used to, one of my big things, I love hoodies, always have. It's really funny because I saw something, it was something on Facebook where what were you doing in high school? And one of the things is what's your dress? How did you dress? Jeans and a hoodie. I'm going back to 1982, 83. I wore jeans and a hoodie. Guess what?
Jeans and a
Still
hoodie.
wearing jeans and a hoodie. My style hasn't changed in a couple decades. But when I started doing this, it was I'm just a kid in a hoodie that learned how to do something. I'm
Yeah.
not special.
No.
And we really have seen a big switch in spirituality where 10, 15 years ago, you'd go to a spiritual fair and it would be all the, I'll say the, what's a proper wording? The fringe. I'll use the word fringe of society
Okay.
there, even as spectators, but also as exhibitors. Um, Now you go, there's a kid in a hoodie sitting behind a desk or a table giving you a reading. That's
Yeah.
what it's supposed to be,
Totally.
right? It's supposed to be the Sarah and the Kevin. It's not supposed to be, and that's why I was trying to figure out why they brought up Maven. It's not supposed to be the Mavens or the Raven, or you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
supposed to be just normal people doing a normal thing because this is normal.
Yeah.
I use the explanation a lot of times. 20 years ago, in the past, very few people would go see a chiropractor
Right.
because as soon as you said, "Oh, I'm going to go see a chiropractor," your best buddy would always go, "Oh, don't do it." I had a friend's uncle's brother. He's in a wheelchair because of a chiropractor.
Yeah.
You never met this person, but they knew him.
Oh yeah.
Now, everybody goes to a chiropractor. It's
Totally.
commonplace. Massage therapy, same thing. Now it's normal. Guess
Yeah.
what? I think within the next few years, we're not talking decades, going to a medium, going to an energy healer is going to be normal because it's becoming more and more mainstream. Would you
Yes.
agree?
Absolutely. Yes. And
Yeah.
I really feel like there's a large energetic shift that's on its way. I truly feel that it's by the end of 2024, there's going to be a real difference, a palpable difference in just energy and how we function as a society. I mean, look how quickly COVID changed us energetically, you know?
Yes. And you know what? I mean, I could say a lot of bad things about COVID. I suffer from long COVID, and it's been a tough year, I'll say. Um, but COVID did some really good things. If it wasn't for COVID, I would never have taken Ken's course. It was
Yeah.
because I was stuck in the house and no excuses. That's why I took Ken's courses. I also really liked the fact that you brought up about masculinity in spirituality, because there seems to be that you have to be flamboyant, I'll use the word, to be able to do what we do. I'd like to see that change. I like seeing that change.
Yes. Yeah. I think that there's a real shift coming that is deserved because people like you or people like my husband is a very masculine man, but he owns it and he does it in a way that is gentle. He loves manly things, but he's still very gentle and loving and compassionate. And he doesn't have this toxic masculinity that we talk about, but I feel like
Yes.
masculine things are put under the toxic umbrella just because they're masculine. And
Well,
I
yeah,
think
I
we
mean,
have more of a balance.
I was brought up, men don't cry.
Yeah.
And I've always been an emotional kid. I've always been. I mean, yeah, I can go back. I bet you talk to any of my childhood friends, they'll be like, "Yeah, Kevin, he was the one that cried at movies." I did. It was just normal for me. But I was literally bullied because of it. I look at myself now and I'm like, I'm still the same way. We watched a movie just the other night, Doggone. Um, I won't give away the plot of it or the end of it, but there was parts of it that are very sad, and I had Kleenex. I'm okay. I'm not crying. You're crying.
Yeah. It's
It's
another
okay.
answer.
Men are allowed to be emotional. It should be acceptable.
Yes.
Unfortunately, a lot of people still have that way the society has trained us over the years. I guess because I'm getting close to being 60. That's our generation, right?
Yes.
Unfortunately. Wow, I can't believe how fast these hours go. Somebody actually suggested I expand it to 2 hours, but I think 2 hours will be too long. I think an hour is a good time. Is a good
Yeah.
time frame. Um, where do you see? No, okay. What are you adding? They keep and they're talking about you adding something to your business. What is it that you're going to be adding in the near future?
I would love it if they would let me know.
Wouldn't it be life way easier if they would just spit it out, would you? They're
Yes.
supposed to be and they're literally showing me, like, another course. That's why I asked if you had intentions of taking, Reiki.
I don't have intentions of Reiki, but I do have a huge desire to explore feng shui a lot more.
Oh,
Yeah, I really you can really feel again like a tangible difference if you have the feng shui in a room in the right or wrong way. You can definitely it's tangible. So I'm
that's
very interested.
cool. I had a friend that was into it, and I'm going way back. Like I'm going back, probably into my 20s, so 3 decades ago, who was right into that, and she like set up her house, and if you moved a chair, don't move a chair, just don't do it. I'm trying to think of her name. I could picture her face, and I can't think of her name. I want to say Karen, but I don't think it was. Anyway, feng shui has been around for a long time, obviously hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah,
There's something to it.
absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. Well, young lady, thank you so, so much. One more time, where can people find you?
You can find me at www.sarahpowell, SarahPowell.ca. You
Awesome.
can reach me there. You can book a discovery call. You can send me an email. If you have any questions, please reach out. I love connecting. So
And I will be posting that on my page in the comment section after the show. So if
as well
anybody,
as the meetup. Sorry, as well as the meetup.
yes,
YYC mediums and metaphysicals. Please feel free to join.
feel free to post both of those links on Facebook page,
Okay.
because I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people in the community that wants to get together. It's been a
Awesome.
long time since a lot of people have gotten together, so it'd be very, very good. Um, Thank you again. I really, really appreciate you taking the hour, and let's keep in touch.
Absolutely. Thank you. This was
You're
a
more than welcome.
blessing. Thank
Take
you.
care of yourself.
You too. Bye.
Okay. Okay, people, thank you so much. It's been absolutely amazing. I haven't decided what I'm doing next week yet. I have in the back of my head, I keep thinking I'm going to do mini readings. So stay tuned. I will announce that some point in the next week. If you need to get a hold of me, or if you feel you want to book a reading with me, you can go to my Facebook page, Kevali Channeling, and click the book now. I have openings Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. If you don't see a time that works, please PM me and I'll see what we could do to make a time that works. In the meantime, enjoy your evening, and we will see you next